Hello, beautiful soul sisters. It's Angie, and I am coming to you to offer you my free gift to you in gratitude for just an amazing day on Sunday. Thank you all so much for showing up in the way that you did, so open and receptive. It was just a beautiful experience, and it was just an honor to be a part of that experience, to hold space for that experience, and to share space with all of you. So thank you. So my offering is, I'm going to teach you about Ho'oponopono, which is an ancient Hawaiian healing system that, the premise is, and what Ho'oponopono means is to make right, to clean, to release misperceptions. And let me see. Actually, yeah, I said it almost right. I actually want to quote Dr. Hu Lin, Dr. E. Haleakala Hu Lin, who is a lineage holder of Ho'oponopono, and he's really the main one teaching it out there. He says that it's a Hawaiian healing, a system of healing, and it means to make right, to clean or correct our misperceptions. And it's a very simple process. And I do want to break it down a little bit for you here, just so that you really start to get a sense of what you're tuning into when you're saying the phrases that are this very simple phrases that are included in Ho'oponopono. But first, before I tell you the process, I do want to talk about the principles of Ho'oponopono and read to you some quotes from Dr. Hu Lin. So I'll read the quotes first. So Dr. Hu Lin says, "There are only two ways to live your life, from memory or inspiration. Memories are old programs replaying. Inspiration is the divine giving you a message. The only way to hear the divine and receive inspiration is to clean all memories. The only thing you have to do is clean." Very, very simple, very, very profound at the same time. And he says, "The only task in your life or mine is the restoration of our identities, our minds, back to their original state of void or zero." We could also say back to their original state of love. We could also say back to our original state of the I am presence. And so I think, I've found in my experience that Ho'oponopono is such a great way to get ourselves clear enough to settle into that I am presence and to live and act from our I am awareness. It really does take, noticing when misperceptions are arising, when we're operating from misperception, from fear, from memory replaying, and cleaning our conscious of that once we notice it, taking responsibility for it and letting it go, handing it over, so that we can be in that state of void, zero, love, I am. So let me give you the principles. So the principles of Ho'oponopono. Number one, the physical universe is an actualization of my thoughts. Number two, if my thoughts are cancerous, they create a cancerous physical reality. Three, if my thoughts are perfect, they create a physical reality that is brimming with love. I am 100% responsible for creating my physical universe the way that it is. Number five, I am 100% responsible for correcting the cancerous thoughts that create a diseased reality. And number six, there is no such thing as out there. Everything exists as thoughts in my mind. And it's really important to understand that, because when we are struggling, when we are suffering, we are attributing someone out there or some, circumstances, conditions, we might even be attributing, a disease state, as the cause of how we're feeling. When in reality, it's what we're believing to be true about ourselves. It's what we're taking ourselves to be that then causes all of the things that come up, that we experience. Because we're only ever feeling our right now thinking. So hopefully that makes sense. I will be going into this more, and we'll be really diving into the practice of Ho'oponopono in Mind-Body Detox, which is a nutritional and emotional spiritual detox that I run in the spring. And sometimes in the fall. I did it in the fall this last year, and I'm still deciding if I want to do it both seasons, but definitely in the spring, and we will be doing it this spring, right around the equinox, so I'll give you guys information about that. But the process for Ho'oponopono is very simple. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And, I think one of the most effective aspects of Ho'oponopono is that, when you decide to do Ho'oponopono, whether you really understand what's happening, with the, saying the phrases, is that you are, instead of choosing unconsciously to push whatever it is, the feeling away, or to resist it, to not feel it, to not feel whatever this is that you're believing about yourself. That's not true. And it's interesting. So, we when we're struggling with something, or overthinking, overanalyzing, what we're doing is we are reacting to a limited belief that we're having about ourselves, that we're holding in mind unconsciously. And because we believe that to be true, like say that we're unworthy, or we're separate from God the rest of life, we're, unlovable, whatever it is. That's not true. I mean, we're really believing that. And so we go about all kinds of mental exercises, ways to make it not true, to make it not so, even though it's already not so. But we just, we struggle with it, and we resist it. We push it away. We don't want to feel that. So we'll do all kinds of things to make sure that, to try to escape that we believe about ourselves, to not feel that. So with Ho'oponopono, you are consciously deciding to be with whatever is coming up for you. You're consciously choosing to be with the fear, the judgment, the feeling of victimhood, the belief of victimhood, that feeling of separation, unworthiness, not belonging, whatever it is. You're actually you're choosing to be with it. And that's different from just feeling it and believing it and then just, spinning out with it. Totally different. You're not really being with it then, you are resisting it. So with Ho'oponopono, you're consciously choosing to be with it, and you're choosing to look at it. You're choosing to see it as thought. You're choosing to see it as your own creation, and your own unconscious, innocent creation. And so the first phrase, I love you, that's just so beautiful, because what you're doing, it's genius, because what you're doing when you say, I love you, is you're fully allowing with no conditions, fully loving with no conditions, whatever is coming up, and you're loving yourself for it. And you're getting yourself into that state of allowing and welcoming and accepting. Because you can only release something to the degree that you have welcomed it into your experience. If you keep resisting it, it will continue to persist. But if you welcome it in, and you can see it as thought, as your own creation, as actually not even yours. You've just been latched onto it, right? You haven't realized that it was thought, and that you're creating your reality by fixating upon and identifying with this thought. So I love you. Just allowing, welcoming whatever's coming up. Even if you don't understand it, you don't have to understand it at all. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for holding on to this. Because when we're using Ho'oponopono, a lot of times it's, we may consciously know that a thought or belief is not true, but we still have an attachment to it, and we can be in this state of like, I know I just need to let it go, but I just can't seem to do it, right? I'm so attached, and I don't know how to fix it, I don't know what to do. And so basically, you're also surrendering. You're surrendering your will to try and figure it out and fix it. And, getting into that allowing state. I love you. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry for holding on to this for so long. I'm sorry for seeing myself, this person, from a limited perspective. I'm sorry for seeing them or myself as guilty when I know that I'm innocent and pure. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for seeing guilt where there's only innocence. Please forgive me for seeing fear where there is only love. Please forgive me for seeing separation where there's only oneness, connectedness. Please forgive me for seeing susceptibility where there is only pure power. And as you're saying, please forgive me, you're releasing it. Forgiveness is releasing. And, it's releasing misperception that you're holding about someone or someone else. Releasing the judgments. So you're handing those over, and you can even say, I'm handing it over. I'm letting myself off the hook. I'm letting my mom, my dad, even someone, who is a perpetrator or was a perpetrator. I'm letting everybody off the hook and seeing them in their innocence, seeing that they were given this program, this limiting belief from someone who was innocently misperceiving, and then they took it up in their innocence, and then they passed it on to me, and I took it up in my innocence. So, every act is either an act of love or a cry for love. And so we're seeing it from that vantage point now, from a different vantage point. We're choosing to see everyone, including ourselves, in our innocence, so that we can let go of these, the toxins of hurt and animosity, and be free. That's what we're doing. And it's not really about the other person. It is only about you. It's only about us when we're forgiving. All forgiveness is self-forgiveness. So we are choosing to let everyone off the hook for everything. Not excusing violence. We're not doing that. We're not excusing violation. We're not saying that the act itself is okay, but we are saying that this person who did this is, was innocently misperceiving. They're in the grand human hallucination, the hallucination that we're not already love, that we're not already the power. And so in that hallucination, we and others grab for power, grab for love, but it's often, that sense of feeling powerless and grabbing for that power somehow, dominating someone else or abusing them or making them feel, putting them down so that they can momentarily, or we momentarily feel that sense of power. But then it's fleeting because it's not real. It's not real power. Real power is love. Real power is knowing that you are love and that it's already here. You don't need to go anywhere for it or look for it or try to take it. And so back to, releasing. I'm letting everybody off the hook. All the way, from my mother, my father, all the way down to the very first human being who mistakenly believed in lack and limitation and lack of love, and passed that on in their innocence. So letting everybody off the hook, and then thank you. Thank you. You're speaking to your own divine presence. Thank you for taking this from me. Thank you. Seeing it as done right now. Tuning into the gratitude, for the fact that you can just give it over, that love can transmute it, and just being really grateful for that, it's not yours, and you don't have to see it as yours anymore. And just that simple act of seeing it as not yours, and seeing that you've been misperceiving, and choosing to see yourself or others in their innocence, just tuning into the gratitude for the release that brings. And then that's all you ever have to do. It's such a beautiful thing, so really ground into the feeling of gratitude when you're saying thank you. So again, it's I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And yeah, it's a forgiveness practice. And you can do it with anything and everything. Anything you don't like that you're seeing that appears to be out there, knowing that it's really how you're seeing it. That's how you're going to experience it. So it's taking responsibility for your creations, your unconscious creations, if they're undesirable, and choosing to see it differently, choosing to see love, choosing to see peace instead of grievances. And yeah, it's very powerful. You can do it with symptoms, diseases, conditions, or drama with someone, conflict, anything that you are not, that doesn't feel good to you. You can use Ho'oponopono to be free of it, to be free of any and all misperceptions that are causing you to experience whatever it is in the way that you're experiencing it. So I hope this is helpful for you and of the deepest service for you. And yeah, enjoy. Peace and blessings. Namaste.